Hi guys, welcome back. In the last session, we understood what is XML and how to work with the XML. XML stands for Extensible Markup Language that was given by W3C. It will represent the data in the form of tags. Simple elements will be available, compound elements will be available. When we have the data in the XML, to convert the XML data to the Java object to the XML, we will go for JAXB API. JAXB stands for Java Architecture for XML Binding. Using that JAXB, we can convert XML data to the Java and the Java data to the XML. Those operations are called as marshalling and unmarshalling. Those operations are called as marshalling and unmarshalling. Got my point? What is marshalling? Convert Java object to the XML, that is called marshalling, and convert Java object to XML, that is called marshalling. Convert XML data back to the Java object, which is called unmarshalling. To perform marshalling and unmarshalling, we need to create binding class. So yesterday, we have created the binding class and we are able to perform marshalling and unmarshalling. Then later, we started our discussion related to JSON. JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation, that JSON will represent the data in key value format. JSON is lightweight and JSON is interoperable. What is the meaning of interoperable? Interoperable meaning is platform and language independent. So any platform, any language, we can use JSON. So JSON is used to exchange the data from one application to another application. When we compare with the XML, JSON will take less memory. To work with the JSON data, we have below third-party APIs. What are those? One is Gson and the second one is JSON. So these APIs are not in the Java by default. We need to add the dependencies and we can convert the Java object to JSON and the JSON object to Java. Okay, so let us see how can we create a project to work with JSON data. File, new, Maven project. I need the JSON dependency. Instead of I am downloading the jar file, I will take the help of Maven project. Okay, let's go for Maven project. Let me create Gson API application. So group ID in.ashok IT. Artifact ID I'm giving as JSON Gson application. JSON Gson application. So Gson is the API which supports to work with JSON data in the Java application. JSON represents data in the form of key value. Okay, go to build path and configure the build path. By default 1.5 version we got. I'm changing to 1.8 version, apply and close. Go to pom.xml. In this project currently, no dependency is available. Let me add the Gson dependency to work with the Gson API. As we discussed, Gson is a third-party API. Let me get that Gson dependency from mvnrepository.com. Okay, guys. Now go here and search for Gson. So Gson data bind dependency will be available. So pom.fastXML Gson core Gson data bind dependency is there. Let me take this Gson dependency. The version is 2.4.12. Let me take this version. Copy this dependency from here. Copy this dependency and keep this dependency in our pom.xml. So this is not from Sun Microsystem, guys. This is a third-party dependency that we are adding in our project. Now, let me go and create one. Let me go and create one class called passenger in.ashokit.bindings. So here I'm creating a class called passenger class. So I want to represent the data in the form of object. Okay. So here I'm taking private string name, private string from private string to from to private string gender. So like this, I'm taking some variables in the passenger class. Okay. Here for these variables, let me write the setters and getters. Click on generate. I'm taking setters and getters for this class. Okay. Public class passenger. For this, in this class, I'm taking some variables. For these variables, I'm writing setters and getters. Let me write a toString method also. So Alt Shift SS. So I want to take the toString method. Fine. I'm able to take the toString method. Now I want to convert this JSON to Java. Okay. Let me create Java to JSON. First, I want to convert the Java object to JSON. Java to JSON. Fine. Let me create this class in another package. Let me create this class in another package. I want to convert the Java object to JSON. New class. Let me take it in a separate package called util package. So here I'm writing the class name Java to JSON. So what is the meaning of that? I want to convert my Java object to JSON data, right? Let me write a main method. In this method, I will write the logic to convert the Java object to JSON file. Okay. First, let me create the target class. Which class object data we want to convert? Passenger. Passenger is equal to new passenger. Passenger is equal to new passenger. Now passenger dot set passenger name some Raju. Then passenger dot set from address from Hyderabad to Delhi. Passenger dot set to as a Delhi. Okay. Then next one we will go for passenger dot set gender some male. Okay, I have the data in the object format, right? So whatever the data is available in the object format, I want to convert that data into JSON format. To perform that operation, we are already using Gson API. Okay, so it is by default in the Spring Boot, but currently my project is not a Spring Boot project. It is a normal Java project. So that's why I have added the dependency in the pom.xml. Now in this Gson API, there is a class called ObjectMapper. What is the class, guys? ObjectMapper. Mapper is equal to new ObjectMapper. There is a class available with a name called ObjectMapper. What is the purpose of this ObjectMapper? ObjectMapper class provided the methods to perform Java object to JSON and JSON to Java conversion. Now, what is the method here? Mapper.writeValue as string. Write the value as string. So like this, we have a method, write value. You can write the data to a file. You can write the data to the console, or you can write the data to the file. Write value. I'm giving the file, new file. I'm giving the file name as passenger.json. Passenger.json. What is the object? Passenger object is available. That passenger object I need to convert into JSON file. So that I am doing by using write value method. So where this write value method is available? It is available in the object mapper. I'm giving Java, I'm creating the object for the Java class. For that object, I'm setting the data. Whatever the data is available in the Java object, I want to convert the Java object to JSON file. So there is a predefined class called ObjectMapper. In the ObjectMapper, there is a method called writeValue. It is taking the file as input and object. This object data will be converted to JSON, will be stored into this file. Then let me write it. System.out.println. Done. Done. Now let us see our project here, guys. In this project, currently, is there any JSON file is available? Guys, in our project currently, is there any JSON file is available? There is no JSON file available. JSON file is not available. Let me refresh the project. No, there is no JSON file available. Let me run this Java class, run as Java application. I'm running this Java application. It is running. It is done. The program is completed, guys. Now refresh the project. Now can you see one JSON file is created? Passenger.json. Open the JSON file. Now Control Shift F, format it. Now can you see whatever the data is available in the Java object, passenger data is able to convert into JSON or not? Key value, key value, key value. So with this, are we able to convert Java object to JSON? Guys, with this, are we able to convert Java object to JSON or not? With this, we are able to convert the Java object to JSON. With this, we are able to convert the Java object to JSON. Are you clear? So now, which class we are using to convert the Java object to JSON? ObjectMapper. Which class we are using, guys? ObjectMapper class we are using to convert the Java object to JSON. So similarly, can I convert JSON back to Java? Can I convert JSON back to Java? Yes or no? Can I convert the JSON back to Java? Yes, we can convert JSON back to Java. Let me create another class, JSON to Java. New class, I'm taking JSON to Java. And taking another class, JSON to Java. Let me write here main method. In this main method, I want to use same ObjectMapper. So there is a class called ObjectMapper. Mapper is equal to new ObjectMapper. It is a predefined class which is available in the Gson API. Now mapper.readValue. So I have the data in the file. What is the file? New file, that is passenger.json. I want to convert the passenger data into passenger object type, passenger.class. Okay. So whatever the data is available in the passenger class, whatever the data is available in the file, that file data I want to convert into Java object. That file data I want to convert into Java object. Java object to JSON, JSON to Java, we are able to do by using Gson. So once I call the read value method, it will return the object, which is a passenger object. Let me print that passenger object. Let me print that passenger object. Okay, guys. Now see, I have already Java to JSON class, which is taking the Java object and converting the Java object to JSON. JSON is used to represent the data in the form of key value. Once the Java object is converted to JSON data, now I want to convert the JSON data back to Java object, because in the REST API development, we need to convert the Java to JSON and JSON to Java. Run as Java application. Now see the console. Are we able to get the data into object format from the file? Guys, are we able to get the data from JSON to Java? So yesterday we worked with Java to XML, XML to Java. Today we are working with Java to JSON, JSON to Java. Okay, guys. For example, I want to represent some complex JSON. So here passenger is available. Passenger is having some address. I want to take some address information of the passenger. New class, let me take this as address. Okay. So this passenger address, private string city, private string state, and private string country. Let me take the setters and getters to represent this data. Then toString method. Okay. Address class is having city, state, and country. For these three variables, we have setter methods and getter methods, and we have created toString method also. In the passenger class, I want to represent that address, private address. Okay. For this variable, I want to write setters, getters, and I want to generate toString method. I want to write the setters, getters, and I want to write the toString method. Are you clear with my point? Are you clear with my point? Fine. Passenger class is there. It is having the variables and it is having a address. Now, Java to JSON. Here, along with the passenger, I want to store address data. Okay. Address object. I want to take address, our address. Ashok ID address object is there. Address ADDR is equal to new address. Address ADDR is equal to new address. Okay. Set the data to the address dot set city. Let me take it as HYD. And address dot set state, something like this. And address dot set country, something like this. Okay. Now, passenger is having address also. Let me set the address for the passenger. Passenger dot set address. Passenger dot set address. I'm setting the address object. Now, I want to convert this Java object to JSON. Run this application. Run as a Java application. It is using ObjectMapper to convert the Java to JSON. Now see, this is my passenger JSON, name, from, to, gender, and address. Address is having some chains. Address contains city, state, country. So this is address. And this address is belongs to a passenger. So like this, we are able to represent the data in the JSON format. We are able to represent the data in the form of JSON. Are you guys clear with my point, guys? Are you clear with this logic, what I am writing? Are you guys clear with the logic that what I am writing now? Are you guys clear with the logic, what I am writing now? Yeah. What is the logic that I am writing now? Gson API. I'm using ObjectMapper. Using ObjectMapper, I'm able to convert the passenger object into passenger JSON. Similarly, whatever the JSON data is available, that JSON data, we are able to convert back to Java object by using read value. Okay, guys. So Gson API provided below methods. Gson API provided methods to perform operations. Okay, Java with JSON. Right. So there is a class called ObjectMapper. ObjectMapper, mapper is equal to new ObjectMapper. That is a object. Mapper dot write value. So mapper dot write value, it will take the new file. That is person or passenger, whatever it is. Extension will be .json. Then let's pass the person object. Now, again, what we can do? We can do read value. So mapper dot read value. Mapper dot read value. So here, person JSON file is available. Pass the JSON file. Convert that JSON data to person class. Okay, guys. So like this, we can use read value. So then you will get the person object. So like this, you can convert Java object to JSON, JSON to Java object. Let me give JSON example, Gson API example. Gson API example. So here, first we have taken the passenger class. Passenger class is using the address class. I'm not giving the setters, getters, guys, that you can write it. Okay, setters and getters that you can do. Address is having a reference with the passenger. Address having a reference with the passenger. Perfect. Here also, we are writing setters and getters. Perfect. Next one, Java to JSON class is available. This class is converting the Java object to JSON and JSON to Java. So similar to the Gson API, there is another API called Gson API. By using Gson API also, we can convert the Java to JSON, JSON to Java. That the Gson API is given by Google. Gson API is given by Google. Okay. So now, if you want to work with the Gson API, you need to take the Gson dependency. Okay. Who provided the Gson dependency? Gson dependency provided by Google. So this is the dependency that we need to take, and we need to add the dependency into our form.xml. So our project is having form.xml. When we add the dependency in the form.xml, Maven will download that dependency. Now, for example, I don't want to go for Jackson. Now I want to go for Gson. So I am removing this Jackson. I'm commenting this dependency. Now I am going for Gson dependency. When we go for Gson dependency, we need to comment this code. Okay. ObjectMapper will not work now. ObjectMapper will not work now. ObjectMapper belongs to Jackson. Okay. Java to JSON. Now data is available in the object. I want to convert that object to JSON by using which API? By using Gson API. Gson API provided a class called Gson.class. Gson is equal to new Gson. Gson dot from Gson dot to JSON. There is a method called Gson dot to JSON. It will take the object as a parameter. That's it. It is going to give the JSON value. System.out.println JSON. There is a direct method to JSON. So Gson object is available. Gson object is having a direct method called to JSON. What it will do? Run as a Java application. Now this method, see here, that Java object is converted to JSON. So which method we have here? Gson dot to JSON. Gson dot to JSON. So it is used to convert the Java object into JSON directly. It is used to convert the Java object into JSON directly. To JSON, I'm passing the object as an input. My object is a passenger object. Now, when I run this application, it is converting the Java object to JSON. Now, similarly, if you want to convert JSON back to, then here we have a method Gson. Gson is equal to new Gson. Gson dot from JSON. Gson dot from JSON. Here you can give the reader, file reader object you can pass, and using that you can take that data. Okay. So here I am passing new file reader of passenger dot JSON, that is passenger dot class, like this. Getting my point? So there is a method called from JSON method is available. To JSON method is available. To JSON method is used to convert Java to JSON. From JSON to convert the data from JSON object to Java object. Now system.out.println of P. So right click, run as Java application. Now you see whatever the JSON data is available, I'm able to read into Java object. Okay. So you can use either Jackson API or we can use Gson API. Okay. Gson example. Gson API example. Okay, guys, you can go for either Jackson or you can go for Gson. So Gson is a predefined API given by Sun Microsystem. In that there is a class called Gson.class. So by using Gson also, we can convert the Java object to JSON and JSON to Java object. JSON to Java object. Perfect. So like this, we can work with that. So with this, we are clear how Java object can be converted to XML and how XML can be converted to Java and how Java object can be converted to JSON and how JSON will be converted to Java. Okay, guys. So when to go for a JSON, when to go for a Gson. So here both are almost same. In the Spring Boot, by default, Jackson dependency is available. In the Spring Boot, by default, Jackson dependency is available to convert Java object to JSON and JSON object to Java. Are you clear with my point? Are you clear with my point? Now you understand how to work with the XML data and how to work with the JSON data in the Java. Come on. So why we are learning this XML and JSON, guys? Where we are going to use this XML and JSON? Why we need to learn this XML and JSON? Why we should learn this? Where we are going to use this? Where we are going to use this? REST API. We are going to develop REST API. So now here, passport application is available, Aadhaar application is available. So in general, we will represent the data in the form of objects. Can we send the data from one application to another application in the object format? Then can we send data? Generally, Java means it is object-oriented programming language. Everything will be represented in the form of objects. Now, passport application is developed by using Java. Data is represented in the form of Java object. I want to send some data from passport application to Aadhaar application. Can we send the data in the form of Java object to Aadhaar card project? Can we exchange the data in the form of object? Can we send the data? Can we send the data in the form of object? No, because our application is Java. If other application is not Java, our application is a Java application. If other application is not Java application, then our application cannot communicate with the other application. Objects are always language dependent. Java class object cannot understand by .NET. .NET class C# class object cannot understand by Python. Python objects cannot understand by PHP. So that's why we should never exchange the data in the form of objects. If you exchange the data in the form of objects, then you cannot achieve interoperability. So what is the meaning of interoperability? One application should be able to communicate with the another application easily. What is interoperability, guys? One application should be able to communicate with the another application. That is called interoperability. So one application should be able to communicate with the another application. Java application should be able to communicate with the Python application. Python application should be able to communicate with the Java. So we should not go for objects. So whatever the data we are sending from one application to another application, both applications should be able to understand the data. So whatever the data passport application sending to Aadhaar application should understand. Whatever the data Aadhaar card application sending to the passport application should understand. So that's why in the industry, people will use XML or JSON to send the data from one application to another application. Why only XML? Why only JSON? Why only XML or JSON? Why not other formats? XML and JSON formats are platform independent. Every programming language will support for XML data and JSON data. Every operating system also will support for XML data and JSON data. When we compare with XML and JSON, which one is highly recommended? Guys, when we compare XML and JSON, which one is highly recommended? JSON is highly recommended. Why JSON is highly recommended? Why JSON is highly recommended? JSON is lightweight, less metadata. When you go for the XML, if you see in the XML, everything will be represented in the element format. Every element is having a open tag and closed tag. In the XML, metadata is more than actual data. In the XML, metadata is more than actual data. Whereas in the JSON, the data will be represented directly in the form of key value. So when we represent this, JSON file will occupy less memory than the XML file. That's why people are using a JSON. Now you see these scenarios, guys. Make my trip application available, IRCTC application is available. Customer is available here. Customer want to book a flight ticket or train ticket in the Make My Trip. Customer will fill up the data and will submit the form. Customer data will go to the Make My Trip in the form of object. Then what the Make My Trip will do? Make My Trip will convert that object data to JSON. It will send the JSON data to the IRCTC. IRCTC will represent the JSON data in the object and will perform its operation. After the operation is completed, then it will convert that object response to the JSON. It will send the JSON to the Make My Trip. Make My Trip will take the JSON, will convert to object. That means both provider side and the consumer side, objects will be converted to JSON. JSON will be converted to object. Now, that is scenario 1. When you go for scenario 2, front-end application is available, back-end applications are available. So whatever the data that the user is providing in the front-end application, the data will come to the back-end application in the JSON format. Back-end application will execute the business logic, will send the response back to front-end application again in the JSON format. Front-end and back-end applications also will exchange the data in the form of JSON. Producer and consumer also will exchange, provider and consumer also will exchange the data in the JSON. Now let us see in the real time how these operations are going to happen. Okay, so this is one application and this is another application. Okay, application 1, or let me take it as a Make My Trip application, and this is IRCTC application. Okay, now Make My Trip application will be accessed by client, customer, I can say. Okay, one customer is accessing Make My Trip application by using its user interface. By using its user interface, customer is accessing Make My Trip application. Customer is sending a request to the Make My Trip application with data request. Okay, now Make My Trip application will represent that customer data in the object. That object will be converted to JSON because whatever Make My Trip is Java application. Java application means it will represent the data in the object format. So that object it cannot send to the IRCTC directly. Okay, objects should not be used to exchange the data because I want interoperability. So here end user is available. End user will use the user interface of the application. End user is providing the data for his journey. Then end user, whatever the data provided, Make My Trip application will represent that data in the object format. Make My Trip should not send the object to the IRCTC because not only Make My Trip, IRCTC providing the services for Yatra and Go Ibibo. So every application is not Java. IRCTC should be loosely coupled. So that's why IRCTC will not accept object. IRCTC will accept only JSON. So it is the responsibility of the Make My Trip application to convert the Java object to JSON and send that JSON data to IRCTC in the request. Send that JSON data to IRCTC in the request. Okay, Make My Trip is sending request with JSON data. Then what IRCTC will do? IRCTC will take JSON data, will convert to object to execute the logic. Now, IRCTC not only supporting JSON, IRCTC supporting JSON as well as multiple other formats also. So whatever the passenger has data is there in the Make My Trip converting that passenger data from object to JSON, sending the JSON data in the request. So at the IRCTC side, what will happen? It will take the JSON data from the Make My Trip and it will convert to the Java object. It will execute the business logic. Business logic will be developed with the objects. So that's why, so once the request is received with the JSON, that JSON will be converted to Java object. Then the operation will be executed. Once operation is executed, Now here we have the ticket data in the form of object. So again, that ticket object will be converted to JSON. That JSON data will be sent to make my trip as a response. Ticket data will be sent to the make my trip as a JSON response. Once the JSON response is received by the make my trip will convert the JSON data back to Java object to send the response to the client. That means both the client side and server side, the conversions are going to happen. Are you guys clear? Make my trip first will convert the passenger data to JSON and send the JSON to IRCTC. IRCTC will convert the JSON to object and will perform the business operation. After performing the business operation, ticket booking is completed. Then IRCTC want to send the ticket object. Directly it cannot send the ticket object. It is converting the ticket object to ticket JSON. Ticket JSON will be given to make my trip. Then ticket JSON will be converted to ticket object. Then finally, it will send the ticket response to the client. Finally, it will send the ticket response to the client. So like this, distributed applications are going to execute. Like this, ticket applications are going to execute. Now, do you know how to convert object to JSON, JSON to object? Now, do you know how to convert object to JSON, JSON to object? Suppose make my trip want to use JSON, but Yatra application want to use XML. No problem. IRCTC will support for multiple formats of the data. IRCTC want to support for multiple formats of the data. IRCTC want to support for multiple formats of the data. Some people can use XML. Some people probably projects will use XML. Some projects will use JSON. But nowadays, most of the projects are using JSON. Nowadays, most of the projects are using JSON. Okay, guys. Now, here in the XML, we called it as a marshalling and unmarshalling. In the JSON, it is called as serialization and deserialization, guys. In the XML, the process of converting Java object to XML is called as marshalling. The process of converting XML back to Java is called unmarshalling. But when we are working with the JSON, those operations are called as serialization and deserialization. Okay, guys. Serialization and Java serialization is different. JSON serialization is different. Serialization. Convert Java object to JSON. Deserialization. Deserialization. Convert JSON data to Java object. In the XML, it is called as marshalling and unmarshalling. In the JSON, it is called as a serialization and deserialization. Sir, in the core Java, serialization, deserialization is different now. Then how we can call it as serialization, deserialization? Yes, Java serialization is different. JSON serialization is different. Java serialization is different and JSON serialization is different. Okay, guys. Now in the Java, serialization means converting the Java object to bits and bytes. Converting bits and bytes to Java object is called as deserialization. That is in the normal Java. But when we are talking about JSON, converting Java object to JSON is called as serialization. Converting JSON data to the Java object is called as deserialization. Okay, guys. Now, so here to achieve the interoperability, applications are using XML and JSON. Someone is asking, if both projects are developed by using Java, can we exchange the data in the object format? Generally, people will not use objects to exchange the data. People will not use objects to exchange the data. People will go for either XML or JSON only to exchange the data because they are interoperable. They are interoperable. So with this, the fundamentals of distributed applications we have completed. Now, before going to start our distributed development, we need to understand about HTTP protocol. So HTTP protocol is going to play the important role. HTTP protocol will play very important role as part of our REST API development. So we will discuss about that HTTP protocol in the Monday session. Before coming to Monday, I want everybody to practice this JAXB API and JSON data with Gson API. Okay. Anybody having any questions? Now you can ask me.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
There is a model mapper class. Sir, why we use that model mapper?
The model mapper, that is different, sir. If you want to bind the data to the objects, then you will go for a model mapper. There is nothing relation with the object mapper. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So that means we are getting the data from the database table in the text format in the result set object. The result set data I want to bind to the Java object. There we will go for the model mapper. Okay. Yes.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Hi, madam.
Sir, sometimes we can use the means for the serialization, deserialization, we can use the object mapper means for the DTO to entity conversion.
That is bean utils, right? So this Jackson object mapper is different. The Spring object mapper is different. Okay. So this is a third-party API. That third-party API provided this class, which is used to convert the Java to JSON, JSON to Java.
Means we can say that object mapper is for this Jackson API object mapper is working different, and for this means convert the DTO to entity, the working
that
is different.
Yes, that is different.
Okay.
Hello, sir. Sir, Pramod here.
Dhirendra, in the Kafka, we are also going to do serialization, deserialization, object to JSON and vice versa. In the Kafka classes, you are going to see that. There also we will perform serialization, deserialization to represent what data we are publishing into Kafka topic and what messages we are consuming from the Kafka topic. There also will perform this serialization, deserialization.
Sir,
Yes.
what is the difference between JSON and Jackson and Gson?
Sir, these are from two different companies, sir. So both are used to represent the JSON data.
Hello, sir.
We can use anyone, sir, no?
Yes, anyone we can use. Spring Boot will use by default Jackson. When you create your project with the Spring Boot, if you create a Spring Boot project, you no need to add the dependency separately because inbuilt Jackson API, it will refer to convert JSON to Java, Java to JSON.
Okay, and sir, also we no need to change the object into JSON or JSON to object, because when I created one get request and post request, no?
Whatever
so,
let me tell you, whatever the code that we are writing, Spring Boot will execute this code internally. You no need to write this also.
Yeah.
Directly, if I create the Spring Boot application, you will not understand what is happening in the background. First, I'm teaching you the basics. So when I go for the Spring Boot REST API development, I will tell you internally it will use object mapper to do the conversions. We no need to write this code in the project.
Yes.
Anything with respect to the performance, sir, with respect to Jackson or Gson?
I mean, both are almost same, sir. There is nothing like difference.
Okay, okay. So one more question, like if a client is sending XML or another client is sending
you can do that,
JSON.
You can do that. I will show you that. So here, my IRCTC application is there now. IRCTC application accepting the request from the make my trip. At the same time, IRCTC accepting the request from the Yatra also. Yatra is referring the only XML data. Make my trip is referring only JSON data. That also it is possible. So now Yatra will send XML to IRCTC. IRCTC will send XML to Yatra. So here IRCTC application is loosely coupled. It can deal with XML data as well as JSON data. No problem.
Yeah. The concept is correct, sir. Like will be there a common endpoint for handling both the request or a separate endpoint for different?
No. Single method only will be available to handle the both internally. So here, whenever first client is sending the data in the XML format, that XML will be converted to Java. and Java will be converted to XML. When Yatra is sending the request to the IRCTC will use JAX-B API to deal with XML. When MakeMyTrip is sending a request to IRCTC will use Jackson API to deal with JSON.
So can you show a sample implementation for handling both the requests, like how to handle?
We did not start the development of that, right? Everything will be proved practically. Whatever I am discussing theoretically, I will show you practical example.
Okay, sir. Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Yeah, hello.
JSON always in key map format, na?
Key value, yes.
Okay, sir. If one map inside another map is there.
Yeah, that is what I have already shown you, right? So here I have a person. Inside the person, I have a passenger. Inside the passenger address is there, no? So person is one map. Inside that address is another map, no?
Okay.
That is.
Show me the code, sir. Where we getting that converting JSON to object.
There is no need to do anything here. It is simple. Just read value. That's it. Read value. You will give your class. Your class will represent that relation. Passenger data is available. Passenger is having a reference of the address. That's why inside the passenger address is coming. Whenever you read this, again it will convert back to the passenger object. Passenger is having address.
Okay, same case with R list also. We need.
Yes.
Oh. So somewhere I see that they are getting the value using key. Means one model class is there. The model class accepting only map value. They are means they are getting the value means what I'm saying. So I will send the code to you.
Sure, sir.
Sir, we are reading from the notes.
Sorry?
The notes, where will that access?
Sir, the people who completed the enrollment, for them, I am uploading the notes in the portal. Okay. The people who completed the enrollment process, they have the access in our website for that course. In that course, they can download the notes. Okay. So here, there is a course called 27 Spring Boot Microservices for the existing batch people. REST API notes I am uploading. And for the new people who are attending only REST API, if you completed your enrollment process, you will also access these notes.
The mountains are quite high.
So right now we are using the file. We have methods also, no? To read it from string also. String type.
Yes, we can do that as well.
Yeah, that is methods available.
Correct.
Okay.
Next up.
So if I want to store the list of employee as a .json file, so
yes, you can.
Is it possible?
Yes, you can do that. You can create a list of objects and you can give that list to the method as a parameter. It will represent the data in the array.
Okay. Okay.
JSON array will be available.
Sir,
hello. You can pass list of employee objects to the writeValue method. It will convert into JSON. In the JSON, it will be stored the data as a array format.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Guys, notes is updated. Could you please check it and confirm?
Sir, while doing the yesterday exercise, I'm getting file not found. I mean, a class not found exception.
Yeah, maybe which version of Java you are using?
1.8 only.
Please check the build path and please check the compiler version. If you are getting that problem, that means dependency not available. In the notes, I have already given the dependency.
Dependency, even in palm.xml, I just pasted the dependency also. Still, I'm getting error.
Yeah, you can share your screen. I will check it.
Sure.
You have to import that annotation.
Yeah,
and is my screen visible?
com.xml internal.bind v2 context factory in class not found exception. Can you go to the pom.xml?
Yes, previously I added this one. Now I just removed and I added your one from the notes.
API, okay.
2.3.4 it works, I think.
2.40 also I got the same.
2.3.4.
3.4. Okay.
Yeah, save it. Or else you can do one thing. Just to copy that exception, paste in the Google. They will tell you which dependency you need to add. Just to copy that complete line, cause it by line, complete line, complete line.
She's using 1.8 only, sir. No need to add any dependency normally.
Yes, sir. I'm just using 1.8 only.
Go to your window preferences. In your IDE, go to window preferences. There is a main menu in the Eclipse. Go to window preferences. Last but one. Window preferences.
Sorry, my let me. Yeah.
In the window preferences, can you check Java compiler? Type compiler in the search box. Click on that compiler. Which version is there?
17. But in the build path, I changed for this.
Change here also. Change to 1.8. Apply. Yes. Apply and close. Now remove the dependency. Do the Maven update for your project. Do the Maven update for your project. Update project. Do the force update. Select the force update. Here.
JDK, J2 1.5 is there. Change it. JRE, below one.
JRE system library.
That you change it to.
To build path and do.
Remove from build path, I'll just give or okay.
Configure. Edit it. Edit that. Alternate JRE. Select here alternate JRE. Select alternate JRE. Select the drop down. Click on install JREs. Click on add. Click on next. Click on directory. Go to C program files Java where you have installed. Program files Java.
I think I just installed it.
You need to select the JDK folder.
Okay, let me. Okay. Okay, sir. I just forgot the path, so let me check it and then I will just check.
No. Program files.
Program files type Java.
Program files also it is not there.
Otherwise, you can change the environmental variables.
Yeah, you check it where you have added the Java. Where you install Java, you need to select that JDK directory and you need to add that to the build path.
Okay.
Or else, if you are getting the exception, close all these things. Whatever the exception you have, just paste in the Google. So they will tell you which dependency you need to add.
Okay. Actually, today's exercise I can able to. It is working now, but yesterday's
for
one
Jackson, directly we are adding the dependency. Now that one dependency is sufficient. Close it. Now just to copy that complete line and paste in the Google. Cause it by that complete line.
Okay.
Copy that and go to Google. Yeah. Go to that first one, Stack Overflow. Yeah, scroll down, you can see what is the solution they have given.
Okay.
Scroll down. Yeah, JAXB core API. These are the dependencies that you need to include.
These two.
Yeah,
okay.
As you are using Java above 8 version, so JAXB core, JAXB API, JAXB IMPL, these 4 dependencies you need. See that they have given solution there. which dependencies you need to include for that. Then it will solve that problem.
Okay, sir.
Okay?
Sure.
Fine.
Okay. Thank you.
Good. Anyone else? Any questions, guys?
Yeah, hi sir. I have
Yeah.
a question.
Yeah, please.
Sir, when we are using Gson API, so while
Yes.
converting Java object to JSON,
Yes.
we are not giving the file name.
Yeah,
I mean,
there
we
is
are
no.
only giving. Yes.
1 minute. You can write the data to the file also. We are just printing that on the console, right? That two
Yes,
JSON
yes.
method. The two JSON method is returning the string object. That string we are storing. Suppose, for example, if you want to convert into the file JSON dot to JSON. So here type is there, appendable writer is there, object it is taking JSON element, object type appendable writer, type object src type. So directly they are not giving the option to store the data into the file, that we need to write into the file manually. There is no direct method available for that. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So once you have the string, that string you can store into the file.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
So recently I got a project in my company, but they are using Java 17 in the project. But I have only knowledge of Java 8, sir.
Okay.
So what should I do, sir?
You need to see some features in the YouTube. What are the new features are there in the 11 and the 17?
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope there must be not so many features and
Yeah.
means difference
Yeah.
between 8 and 17.
Correct. Majority, I mean, there are no big changes. There are both minor changes only there.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Sir, I have one question. So I have seen recently the GPT-4 just came out, and its capabilities more than the GPT-3. And so, is there any threat to us programmer? Because as far as I can see, it's able to develop website, unit test code, and multiple things. It can do flawlessly now. So
there is no threat, sir. There is nothing like this. Okay. For the developers, there is no threat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, please make some videos on GPT API if possible.
Sure, sir. Already overview of GPT I explained and I uploaded a video.
Yes, I've seen that. Yeah.
API I have not seen. I need to explore that.
Okay. Thank you.
Hi, sir. Santosh here.
Yeah, hi, sir.
Sir, if I have enrolled for the evening 5 p.m. batch of Spring Boot microservices, can I be able to attend this, or is this a separate batch?
I did not get you. Can you please come again?
If I have enrolled for the evening SBMS batch at 5 p.m. by you,
yes.
Will I be able to attend this batch, or is this a separate batch of RESTful?
It is a separate batch, sir. So in that batch, complete from basic, we are going to cover Spring Boot and all that stuff. Okay.
So in that batch also, you'll be taking this RESTful microservice?
This RESTful microservice will come in that batch also. It is part of the Spring Boot microservice batch. RESTful service microservice is part of Spring Boot and microservices.
Okay. Actually, I have just checked with the management team of yours. They have said that they have to enroll for both the batches.
No. So I think there's a miscommunication. If you enroll for one batch, that is sufficient.
Okay. So you'll be covering the same topics in that batch as well.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Fine, guys. Good. Happy weekend. Please practice the XML and JSON. We will connect again in the Monday session. So tomorrow no class as it is Sunday holiday. We'll meet in the Monday. Thank you, guys. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.